I'm not gonna lie. After this, the Bible became easier to read. So you need help reading the Bible. Don't worry, I got you. First things first, get a Bible that you can actually read. Reading the Bible can be a daunting, intimidating, and a difficult task, especially if you've never read it before and or are reading a version that you just don't know how to read. So I would not suggest you start with the King James Version. I wouldn't even suggest you start with the New King James Version. That's not where I started. I started with the NLT, which is the New Living Translation. There's also the CSB, which is the Christian Standard Bible, and there's a plethora of other options. I wouldn't say there's any one that is right or wrong. Just whatever gets you to going to page 1 and reading in the beginning. If you can get there, then you're on the right track. Once I got used to reading the Bible, opening up consistently, then I made my transition into the New King James Version, which is my daily read now. And as you can see, my Bible is kind of falling apart, and it's that's a little worse than I thought. It's because I'm reading it, yo. It's because I'm in the Word, I'm highlighting, I'm annotating. Now, some people like to keep their Bible pristine. They don't like to write in it. They don't like to. That's up to you. This is my survival guide. So I write everything in here. I do as much as I can because I just love the Word. That being said, step 2, which I found to be like a game changer when I was first starting. Now I can read the Word. But step 2 is audio Bibles. Audio Bibles are so helpful, and I don't feel like it's talked about enough as a good resource to get you consistent in reading the Word, especially in the Old Testament, where I'm gonna be honest with you, if you don't have a higher level of discernment, which kind of just comes from your I don't know how far you are, so I'm trying to say words that just make a little bit more sense, but depends on your sensitivity to the Spirit. As your sensitivity to the Spirit grows, as your faith grows, as your consistency grows, and your intentionality and intimacy with the Lord grows, as your relationship with the Lord grows, as your boldness for your faith and your religion grows, it gets easier to understand what you're reading. The first time you read it, you may not even get what is actually transpiring here. Live a little bit longer, read the verse again, and I promise you, and I'm pretty sure other people here can also attest to it in the comments, that the Holy Spirit will start showing you more and more and more. So, audio Bibles is a game changer because not only are you just, and I still suggest you read at the same time, but you get to listen to a narrator, and they kind of give a larger experience, and you can start imagining what's happening as you're reading, and it just kind of brings the Bible to life. That is step 2. Step 3 is get a study Bible. Get a study Bible. I have so many Bibles, as you can tell. Get a study Bible. Here's my New King James Version study Bible. The reason why study Bibles are so helpful is because it gives annotation, it gives commentary. This one is more annotation, this more is commentary of the chapters and the verses that you're reading. The commentary route is going to give whatever the author of these books feel like is happening within the plot, is happening within these different verses, and they're kind of giving a summary or overview, or in this particular case, a recap of what's happening in the Bible, versus this is more like a textbook standard one, so you're getting more annotation. It's kind of diving in a bit deeper. We have the verses here, and then a lot of breakdowns are happening for specific verses or giving further context, which is good. You need context. You need not only context in senses of like when Jesus is talking about these different when Jesus is referring to different parables and analogies, but also cultural context. Like, why is it so important that Jesus meets this woman at the well? Why is it so important that Jesus doesn't go around Samaria, but he goes into Samaria? Like, why does that matter? You get further context with this than you would just off your own understanding, especially if you don't know the culture at the time. So that is step 3. Step 3 is get yourself a study Bible. Here's the 4th step, right? You may have heard this, you may have not. Sorry, I have Bibles everywhere. this is the fourth step. Okay, this is a biblical theology, right? This is a furthering step into your understanding, and this is a thematic and ethical approach, right, in chronological order. And this may be part of you may not ever feel like you need to do this, or you may not want to do this. I'm just sharing my own journey and how I've gotten to these parts, and this gives you central themes of different writings, of different you talk about the Pentateuch, you talk about what it looks like, we talk about the 613 laws that are in the first five chapters of the Bible. You get a little bit more into theology if this is a route that you want to go, right? Also kind of go a little bit further into the 1,000+ laws that are in instructions that are given in the New Testament. So it's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But this is for those who are looking to not only read the Bible, not only just further their relationship with God, but really want to understand their faith so that they can share it, so they can evangelize, and maybe even apologia, which is to defend the faith as well. So whatever God has called you on, whatever that looks like, and if you're just beginning, don't even worry about this right now, right? It may be on top of mind, but I think maybe just put it back for now. Start reading the Bible for yourself, get consistent with that, and then think about sharing I always suggest share your testimony first. That's like the easiest way to evangelize. But that being said, here's the fifth and final step. The fifth and final step is something that I feel like videos like this, which I feel like should be made more of, but videos like this don't actually get to. The fifth step is knowing why. Why? Where's my Bible? Knowing why you want to open up this Bible in the first place. Heard me talk about it a little bit. It's our life survival guide. That's cool, right? Jesus tells us that you search the scriptures looking for life, but all it does is prophesy to me. And it shows us that the Old Testament is a great understanding that we have a Father who loves us so much that he sends a Son to save us. I don't suggest that you start in the New Testament, nor do I feel like you're forced to start in the Old Testament. But I want you to understand that we can never have a Son who saves us if we don't have a Father who sends us. The Old Testament helps us gain this reverence and this fear of the Lord, this being able to see him in his awesomeness. And I don't mean the awesome like how you know what I mean? That's awesome. But I mean having an awe of God. Really seeing that in the beginning he created. In the beginning he spoke, and it came to pass. In the beginning we were dust, and he gave a spirit, and he spoke into us. He gave us breath of life, and here we are. That's the God that we serve. And then in the New Testament we get how Jesus he prophesies, how Jesus evangelizes, how Jesus rebukes and shares and shows his mercy and his grace to the people, and then even takes and bears the cross. Man, the Bible is so good. So don't just read the Bible because you feel like you need to read the Bible, but have the actual reasoning of why. And for me, it was because I wanted an intentional and intimate relationship with my Father. And then I learned more about the Son. And I'm able to therefore bow my knee and confess with my mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, and that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that my only way of ever getting to the Father is through him, because he is the doorway. He is the door. He is our great mediator. And that's all in here. All this word does is point to his goodness. All this word does is show how the Father and the Son and thereafter the Holy Spirit are all one. It's the triune God. So I really hope that this video helps. Hope that it helps you on your journey. If I was to recap, summarize all this, I would first start with the Bible. That's easier for you to understand. Then I would go into, after you got that first Bible, get another Bible that is just going to further your understanding in a different way. The second part is listening to an audio Bible. Third part is to get a study Bible. The fourth part is to go even further in the word, right? Dive even further, whatever that's supposed to look like for you. And then this fifth part is to understand why you're picking up the Bible in the first place. Hope this helps. I love y'all. If you have any questions or anything like that, just comment it down. If this video was helpful for you, go ahead and share this to somebody else who needs to hear this too. If you're ready for the next video, I'll see y'all then. Peace.